I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Happy February, everybody. We've made it. Through 1 month of the year. We're there. How many New Year's resolutions do you think have been completely thrown out the window, Ty?
I think we got about 40% of them out in the first week and a half usually. And that's why, I mean, like you go by the gyms and you'll see them get packed until about January 14th to January 21st. And then starts thinning out. And right about now is when you're back down to the regulars too. Some people stick with it too. And that's a great thing. But I've always kind of not been a huge fan of the New Year's resolutions as much as it is. If you want to do something, you don't have to wait till the first of the year to do it. You can pick up and do it. First of the month. Perfect to do it. Perfect to start right now. Start a new month resolution.
Welcome to February 1st, a.k.a. the day where everyone just says, yep, better luck next year.
Yeah, that's it. Well, we'll get back at it.
We'll get back at it.
Haters. Say, well, that next year's our year.
2023 is our year. Here we go. Ty, we got a lot to get to today. We're going to continue our breakdowns of the girls' district tournaments going into divisions 3 and 4. We also are going to have Scabos Koros join us on live on the show around 1 o'clock. He'll be coming on. We're going to have recaps, picks, maybe Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley nominees. Maybe. We're teasing it. Maybe. Who knows?
Who knows? Never know what happens on Running Point.
Maybe Big Dog of the Valley winners. Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows?
But we'll start with our recaps of last night's action. And Ty, there were a lot of interesting games, a lot of big scores, and a lot of teams that are making it a lot easier on themselves in these league standings. And we'll start with where I was at, South Range, where they proved us both wrong. We thought Struthers was going to come into this game strong. We didn't know the status of Lexi Giles, but Giles did, in fact, play, and she scored 17 points. The Raiders got the big win over Struthers. It was the game where they never trailed. 45-33, Raiders emphatically keep their spot atop of the NE8.
And you know what? Good to see Lexi Giles playing in that one, and big contributions too. And I dare to say one of the reasons why her team came out on top in that one, and that's a huge game for South Range, because South Range on senior night, you could get susceptible too with the emotions riding so high too. You could kind of get to playing a little bit off of your mojo too, because there's the excitement and the nerves running through. But Struthers too is an opponent that's already thrown a wrench into the whole thing with Poland, and they were looking to do the same thing again. And they were red hot going into this game. So very good game by South Range to hold off a red hot Struthers squad.
Yeah, and one of the things that was a very bright point for South Range is they got other contributions to the offense. I mean, Lexi Giles had 17, but Ann McCunningham had 16. So a very balanced Wildcat Raiders offense, and then a really good defense that kept the Struthers off the perimeter. They hit 0 3-pointers and shot more than 15. So Struthers couldn't find a rhythm from behind the arc. That hurt them. You live and die by the three, as they say. And the Raiders were able to win 45-43. Yes. I had a chance to catch up with Coach Fischel and Lexi Giles after the game. Let's hear what they both had to say in their post-game interviews last night after their win over Struthers. Anthony Arwig here with the winning head coach tonight, Jeff Fischel. Raiders' big win over Struthers. You guys jumped out to a really big lead. You kept it going. They fought back a little bit in the fourth quarter. What do you see from your team tonight, and what did it take to get the win?
Well, this is the best we've played in a while. This is kind of what we've been trying to build towards. We've been putting together piece by piece, and we really came out early, and we made some buckets, which let us set up our press, which was really good tonight. And we were fired up for senior night. We came out, and our seniors played well, and our underclassmen. We always talk about on senior night, it's the underclassmen's job to make sure the seniors don't lose on their senior night. And our underclassmen really stepped up tonight and played a great game. And that was a great team win because we got contributions from everywhere.
We've talked about your seniors so much, but this is a night where you get to kind of reflect on what they've meant to this program. Talk about what it's been like to coach them and watch them develop over your last 3 years as head coach.
It's been a lot of fun, and it's been a real blessing for me because those are three real special young ladies. They've been with me since the first day I was here, and they've stayed dedicated to this team. They've stayed dedicated to each other, and they've really done some special things within this program. And they're really special, and it's a blessing for me to have them around, and I've learned a lot from them. Certainly probably learned more from them than they'll ever learn from me about life and everything that goes with it. So proud of them and happy that we were able to honor them with a win tonight.
The season hasn't been easy. You guys have faced adversity. You faced tough losses, but here you are, one loss to the NEA, tied for first place, going into a matchup with Poland. What's it say about this team that they're able to just grind through a lot of tough times and keep finding ways to win in this season?
This is an amazing group. They just show up. Every night they show up. I'm blown away by their ability to just show up. And when adversity hits, they show up and they fight and they battle. They stay focused. And most importantly, they stay together. We've had some close teams since I've been here, but this is probably the closest team we've had. And so when that adversity hits, these girls can come together, and that makes it easier to get through because they can do it as a team. And, again, awful proud that we're able to do that.
And now when you look ahead and tournament brackets around everything, I'm not going to make you look ahead to those games. But speaking of the adversity of this season, how much do you think that helps the team going into a postseason and the adversity you're going to face during tournament time?
Yeah, I'm not crazy. I'm not somebody that roots for adversity or hopes for it. But when you come across it, you've got to be able to deal with it. And so, we're I don't want to say we're prepared for adversity, but we've been through it before. So when it hits, we know how to kind of use it as a positive. So let's face it, when you get to the tournament, it really doesn't matter what's happened in the past. You got to show up that day and win a game no matter what. So, that's what the tournament brings, and that's what makes it so exciting. So we know that that's a ways off. We've got steps in front of us, and the most important thing is for us to show up tomorrow and, continue to improve on what we've been working on. Just show up and put another day into the process.
You've already previewed the Poland game because this game got pushed back. So what I'll ask is this. How big is having this Struthers game before Poland and seeing a really quality team push you guys before you go out and play Poland?
Well, I've never been a big, this game prepared us for that game or this game prepared us for a different game in a situation like this because we have 3 games this week. Poland has 3 games, I think, back to back to back. So, it's quick turnaround. And you got to get your bodies right. You got to come out and you got to play a different game because Struthers plays a different style than Poland plays. So you're happy that we were able to put a good one together. But we're going to have to get in practice again, like I said, and again, have another Poland prep practice. And, we'll show up Wednesday night. And, the Poland Fieldhouse is such a tough place. It's a great gymnasium. We'll go down there and give it heck.
All right, Coach. Congratulations on the win and good luck on Wednesday.
Anthony, Houday, and the world looks better in burgundy and gold.
Anthony Hartwig here with Lexi Giles, tonight's player of the game on senior night, too. 17 points in the Raiders win over Struthers. Lexi, it's senior night. What does it kind of mean to you to go through this night and feel the emotions?
It definitely feels great that we won, and I'm glad I got to play with my team because they all came and supported us on our senior night, and they backed us up, and they helped us get a great team win.
How do you kind of put the emotions of senior night away and then get ready for a basketball game?
Just knowing that it's not just about us, it's about our whole team. And even though it's senior night, we still had to play a team to get this win tonight. So,
what an atmosphere tonight. You get a student section, you get the pep band. What's it mean to you as the Raider community comes out and supports you guys in one of your last home games?
It's great to have support like that, everyone cheering us on and just being here and supporting us for this big game and this big night for the seniors especially.
What are some of your favorite memories with this program as you look back on your 4 years?
Definitely our wins, I would say, is probably a good one. My 1,000 points, pretty big one. Just playing all together as a team, just being with these people and playing and making memories is good.
Sets up a big first place matchup on Wednesday against Poland. What do you think this team needs to do to get that win?
Definitely communicate on defense and definitely play together as a team and keep our heads up and make good passes and limit our mistakes.
Lexi, congratulations on the win and player of the game.
Thank you.
That was head coach Jeff Fishel and Lexi Giles, the player of the game, on senior night. A big night for her as they celebrate her, Hannah Heikkinen and Mallory Vidman on senior night, as they all contributed. They all got into the stat sheet, which is big on senior night for all three of those girls to get at least 2 points. And I think both of them, outside of Lexi, got more than 2, actually. Some big buckets down the stretch. So the Rangers get the win 45-33, and they set up that big matchup with Poland. And as long as the Poland girls get the win tonight, they have to take care of business tonight against Jefferson. Then tomorrow it will be head-to-head NEA championship on the line. Who's going to show up at Poland? And Jeff Fishel said it, show up. We're going to show up. You're muted.
Jefferson's not a pushover team either. And if there's a team that can throw another wrench into the fray, it could definitely be the Lady Falcons.
I don't think a little shake-up in routine is enough to shake a Nick Blanche coach team. But I'll tell you, they're not playing in the field house tonight. They're playing in their ancillary physical education gym. So it's not going to be like the atmosphere and the bells and whistles of the field house. They're going to have to kind of
it's a
go
home
back to the
game,
roots of basketball.
It's
right?
a home game, but it's not it doesn't feel like a home
Right.
game. It feels like a neutral site game almost.
So they're going to have to get back to kind of the roots of basketball, just playing, just to play, and instead of playing for the crowd or playing for the big scoreboard or playing for the video board. Just get back to playing basketball.
It's not going to be enough to shake Poland, but I still say it gives Jefferson an advantage. They don't have to go in and deal with as loud or that atmosphere of a huge Poland crowd now. So I think advantage goes to Jefferson as far as not having to deal with that. They have a little bit more of a fighting chance, I'd say, going in.
I'll be heading down there, and good luck to all the Poland students that are using their high school gym to take the ACTs. I'm glad that I'm done with that.
Yeah.
I don't have to stress about the ACTs anymore.
Jeez, oh, man.
Testing going on in the Poland gym. That's why it won't be happening in there. So good luck to, I believe, not just Poland students, any students that are taking the ACT in that area come to Poland for that. So good luck to them in taking that test. It's stressful. I get it. Rock it, kill it, all those good things, all those positive vibes. But then, we're going to have to figure out, where to set up in the PE gym.
You're going to be suspended in midair. They just have a harness around you.
I had the sky cam. I had the NFL sky cam coming down from the I'm just swinging back and forth every time the ball goes
with a camera. A camera and a headset on.
They got me up there in the catwalk, just hanging off the rafters. Kind of like the Muppets announcer. Well, we're here for you. Here in Poland High School, and what a hit. Oh man, we get off track so easily.
But now that'll be a fun one, though. It'll be interesting for you to be in a different location too to see it.
Speaking of Poland, they went to Cortland last night, got the 48-21 win over Lakeview, and they got another win under their belt. And they have the season series sweep of the Bulldogs. Cardinal Mooney, another big win, another close win, 37-34. They get the win over Southeast in Youngstown. You look at Springfield. Remember last time they had to go to overtime to beat Western Reserve, and it was a nail-biter? Yeah, not so much this time. Springfield put their foot down, 53-35. Tigers get the big win inside the MVAC and have a heartbeat in that conference title.
They do.
The heartbeat is there.
They do. They still need
waving, but it's there. It's there. Next Monday, Waterloo Springfield round 2.
That should be exciting.
Valley Christian gets the win over Wellsville, 59-36. You look at United, 50-27. They get the win over Lisbon, and this was a really cool moment because United held a autograph session after the game for all the younger United like little girls basketball players. So it was a great moment. They signed like the little game day programs and something that I'm sure the United girls kind of appreciated having that like kind of moment that usually you get as a college athlete. You get the autographs and everything, so that they like that moment. And then, of course, the future of United enjoyed getting to meet, talk, and get the autographs of the people that they probably look up to the most.
Yeah, and that's really cool to see that moment happen too. And I know it was on our socials, and very, very cool thing to happen around.
I just want Coach Sigler's autograph, so
yeah,
maybe I can get that. If you're listening, Coach, send me some John Hancock's.
just shoot a text over to Chris Sigler.
I know.
And be like, hey, can you put me through?
Be like all these people are getting autographs. I never got an autograph.
Say, where's my merch?
Where's my merch? 46-35, Boardman gets the win over Ursuline. The Spartans have won 5 of their last 7, and they're still kicking pretty good. 52-14, Crestview, the big win over Campbell Memorial. We have 52-25, Garfield gets the win over Newton Falls on senior night. Coach Aaron Gilbert just 1 win away now from career win 250 on his illustrious career. He got 200 as a member of Garfield's coaching staff. Now he's going for 250 in his total career.
Going to be an amazing accomplishment for him once he completes it too. Not an accomplishment not many coaches get to. So very awesome to hear that he's 1 game away.
Liberty's offense, enough said. 78-38. Liberty just trucks LeBray and their offense, putting up another game above 7.
Yep,
above 70.
Continue to be impressive, do the Lady Leopards, and it's been one heck of a ride for Liberty.
All right, Ty, it's time for the game that you were at and talk about an impressive offensive performance. Waterloo boat raced Jackson Milton, and this game got close in the fourth quarter. It was 45-41, and then a 17-3 run by the Vikings just absolutely put this game away. 70-48, they get the win over Jackson Milton. What did you see from this team, and what was the difference in that big run that really just ended this game?
Honestly, what I saw was just damage control by the Lady Vikings. And as Coach Longenecker, I think, mentioned in the post game too, and I'll second it, the composure of this very young Waterloo squad is impeccable for how young they are, because the biggest thing, they came out, Abby Major hits, I think, 3 straight triples, puts them up big already. She's just nailing down shots in the first quarter. Since that point, Waterloo never trailed. They took the lead, did not trail the whole game. Even when Jackson Milton was making that run, never gave up that lead and started piling it back on. And honestly, in that fourth quarter, it was takeover mode by Kara English. This sophomore just took it right to Jackson Milton's defense, was speed racing them all the way to the hole every time, was taking defenders off of her, rolling off of them. Her mid-range free throw line to the shoulder jumper was falling. She was getting the banks all night long. 29 points in that performance. 3 Lady Vikings actually scored in double digits, as Major had 14, Rose Couts had 12 as well. And I mean, it was just another impressive offensive performance and another check mark for the Lady Vikings in my book, as far as teams that we've said, Can they answer the bell on this one? They've added another check next to that list.
The last hurdle for the Vikings is really Springfield. They're the only team left with a chance. Springfield's still 2 games down. So really, the Waterloo, if they beat Springfield Monday, and if they take care of business on Thursday, you gotta get their Thursday game done.
Mm-hmm.
So if they take care of business Thursday and then win on Monday, that'll clinch the outright MVAC Scarlet Tier Championship for a Waterloo team.
They got 3 more conference games. Mineral Ridge is supposed to be Thursday, Springfield Monday, and then I think Jackson Milton again either next Wednesday or Thursday.
They have to play McDonald again, too.
Yeah, and McDonald, you're right, is played somewhere in between there. I don't know what day that's supposed to be falling on. I think it's rescheduled. It got rescheduled, though.
Yeah, they still have. So what Springfield has to hope for is, one, they get the win on Monday. They need that really bad. And then they have to hope that McDonald or Jackson Milton wins in their second matchup with Waterloo. And both of those will be on the road, McDonald and Jackson Milton.
Yeah, because McDonald and Jackson Milton did not have good road trips to Waterloo. I think both suffered 20.
On Jackson Milton's side, it seemed like they just ran out of steam. I mean, they made a really good push to make it 45-41. I'm sure their fans were rocking, like, okay, we're back into this. And then it just seems like from that point, they only scored 7 points from that point on.
What's interesting to me too, and a very good thing to note about the Lady Vikings, the games, at least in Waterloo, that I witnessed against Western Reserve, McDonald, and Jackson Milton were all played different styles wise, and Waterloo was able to keep up with every one of them. Jackson Milton, the high paced, high scoring offense. Waterloo was able to score 70 and keep up. They were able to lock down McDonald too with a very good defensive McDonald team, hold them to 13 to win it. And then same thing with Western Reserve when it was both teams that were struggling scoring, they were able to win that very low scoring, close defensive battle against the Lady Blue Devils in Waterloo too. So they've been in a number of types of games and they've come out successful 14 straight now in a row after their first loss of the season.
If you're Jackson Milton on that end, it pretty much eliminates you from the MVAC discussion. But the good news for you, if you're a Jackson Milton fan or a Jackson Milton player, you're still a 4 seed in the Division 4 district. And whether or not you win the MVAC has nothing to do with how you do in the tournament. And you don't have to see Waterloo in the Division 4 because they're D3. So the district bracket is really wide open.
And you know what? Especially, I think it's wide open as well. Jackson Milton has 3 girls averaging over 10 or more points this season. That's impressive. You got Ava Darney that's averaging a double-double right now, points and rebounds, over 11 rebounds as well. So impressive stat lines from the Lady Blue Jays as, Kylie Wilson, Chelsea Williams, and Ava Darney are leading the ways in scoring. Carla Blancafort chips in, I think, 7 per game too. So, I mean, they have contributions all over the court, and I think that's what's going to make them so dangerous in Division 4.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I think they're a dangerous 4 seed, to say the least, and they'll look to do some damage later on in the tournament. They still have another matchup with Waterloo as well that could throw a monkey wrench into things and help Springfield out a lot if the Tigers get that win on Monday. Champion, they did a lot in their quest to stay alive in the MVAC. They get the win over Brookfield 52-47. And now what do you do? Because now that MVAC is just a total logjam. You know, you got Liberty with 1 loss. They still have to play Champion again. Brookfield now with 3 losses. Garfield, Liberty, and now Champion. Garfield has lost to Liberty, Champion once, and Brookfield once, I believe. They have so it's really coming down. Champion's lost to Garfield and Liberty, and they have 2. So I believe it's coming down really to Liberty and Champion in that MVAC great tier. And
if Champion needs to be able to play a lot better than that first time around, but if they could pull off that upset, they could definitely throw a huge monkey wrench into the MVAC great side. It'd be a tie then for first. Yeah, I think for their composure and their state of mind, they just want to be a lot more competitive. Yeah, absolutely. They wanted to show that they want to show that last game was a fluke. They want to wash that 30-point loss out of their mouths really quick. We move on to Girard. They got the 58-20 win over Niles. Big win for the Indians to bounce back after a tough week in the NE8. Columbiana got the win 43-27 over East Palestine. So those are the final scores of the night. Clippers clapping along too, and it's gonna be a great one. Now, Ty, as far as you and me, we only split once. Yeah, and I believe you got it on me too. I did. I won the night. You got the night because of Springfield too. Well, I feel like every time it's not a close game, it goes my way. And then you get all these ones that are like 54-50 or buzzer beaters or. You got it down to 13, I think. Got it down to 13. Woo! We'll do some picks a little bit later on today, and I'll see if I can make up my deficit and gain some more ground. We have Big Dog of the Valley winners, and here they are, and we'll try to get them on the show later on this week or maybe a little bit early next week. Going to announce them here because we just got them in. The girls winner, Kylie Wilson from Jackson Milton. And we just talked her up. Great shooter,
can really find a spot on the floor. Really good off the ball. I think, I mean, you've had the chance to see her a couple of times. Really good at getting open off the ball. I think that's a really good look for her. Boys, it was Sky Papas. Beaver Local came through. There's a shocker.
Yeah.
Beaver Local knows how to vote really well. He gets to win on the boys' side. And then for wrestling, for the second time this year, Mr. Stephen Mara gets a Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley. He gets it in football. He gets it in wrestling.
Got it.
So he'll have another
announcing the college choice. He gets it. Look at this kid. He wins a wrestling.
This kid's just doing everything. He gets another Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley t-shirt heading his way. He just got one not too long ago for football, and we'll just ship another one right out to West Branch.
I mean, just keep giving him these awards. He's a wrestling big dog. He's a football big dog. He's like Bo Jackson.
He's like Bo Jackson.
He does it all.
So now we'll have new candidates here, and we're going to do them right now before we dive into tournaments and everything else, so we can have as much time as possible for our Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley Price is Right challenge. And as we look at this, I really don't the social media video isn't up yet, so. But it might be. Like, I know DJ's working on it. So this is going to be, do you want to be aggressive? Because usually the numbers go up as soon as that goes up.
How aggressive are you going to be, though?
I know.
Because it seems like when you do go to be aggressive, it doesn't work out.
New strategy. Well. I feel like it's better to be uber aggressive and put you in a spot, because if that happens, then all of a sudden, my options are either it gets pushed to tomorrow or I win. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a new strategy today. But here are the nominees, and we will start now with the girls, the top poll of the line, and it is Abby Mcelroy leading off the nominees from Canfield. She had a big game over the weekend, and she continues to shine as a junior, I believe.
I've only seen her once, and I think you've actually seen her more than me, Anthony, but I mean, she had a pretty good game in the game I have seen her too. She's part of that really good defensive squad over there at Canfield, and she's a solid shooter in that as well.
She's got a really good shooting form, and with her height and that shooting form, she is tough to guard. You can't leave her open. She gets a lot in transition, a lot of open shots in transition. People, for some reason, even now in the season, keep forgetting to pick her up while they're running down the floor. So she's going to be big. They're going to need her on Saturday with that matchup with Howland, with the rematch, I should say. And we'll go from her down to Crestview. It is senior Emily Hill getting the nominee from Rebel Country. And the Rebels are streaking right now.
I haven't seen Emily Hill in person yet, but I mean, I have seen what the Lady Rebels have been doing on YSN's network, and I got to tell you.
Hi, how you doing?
It's the McClutch as
McClutch and the McClutch. McClutch and the McClutch. I just ruined that. Messed it all up.
But no, I think Emily Hill's an integral part of that Crestview team right now, and why they're on the success side of things and streaking up again for the second time this season. They're going on a nice streak, and hey, right before tournament time, so Crestview had a good time.
Hey, are we surprised that Crestview might be a dangerous team in the tournament? I mean,
honestly,
it always just kind of works out that way. I mean, last year they were kind of up and down, and then all of a sudden the tournament they got to the district semifinal.
About time. We need to bring Coach Blatch on. It's been since October, I think, since we've had Coach Blatch on.
It has definitely been a minute. That's a good call. We'll definitely try to get him on here soon. Faye Stellato with the Stiletto Daggers. I think it's on because when you hit game winners against Poland, that kind of gets you on the list. Game winner against Poland. She's a deadly three-point shooter. And Stellato with the Stiletto.
Yeah.
The new headline.
Yeah, daggers for sure.
Daggers. Then you go to Ciesla Triplet from Girard. I believe the first time she's been on this list, maybe the second, but I'm telling you, with her on the floor, Girard is a completely different team. She brings a athleticism, a kind of grit to that team. I feel like she's very hard-nosed, not afraid to drive into contact. They can transition really well with her. She's good with the ball, makes good decisions. I can't speak highly enough about Ciesla Triplet on Girard's team.
I think she goes into one of the all-time names as well, as that's a fantastic name.
I mean, like when she's draining threes and it's Triplet. I mean,
that's fantastic. I like that first name too. I think it flows so well. It's a great name, just like that Sky Papas from Beaver Local. I love that one too. Sky's the limit.
It's Asia. Right there. We'll move on to the next nominee. It is Sophie Diorio from Cardinal Mooney. A big game in their upset over Salem. We talked to her after the game. She had a big second half. The defense locked down on Elena Scavina after she scored 12 in the first half. And really, if it wasn't for Diorio's 11 in the second half, Mooney probably doesn't win that game because Salem's defense did a really good job shutting down the key player of Mooney in the second half.
Yeah, when you're when you put up a big game and pull off a win against number 1 ranked at the time Salem, I think it does enough to get you on the big dog list. And Diorio pulling off a big second half that definitely helped clinch that win against the Lady Quakers.
Last but not least, it is Parker Henthorne of Lisbon. She had a really big week. Lisbon's having a really big week. Minus last night, they kind of hit a roadblock against United, but everyone in the EOAC seems to be hitting that roadblock as well.
I mean, Lisbon's been competitive against a number of teams this season, I think. I mean, the wins that they've been able to pile up inside the conference as well. Great to see this for the Lady Blue Devils starting to make that turnaround for their entire program again and starting to build it right back up.
All right, now we go to the boys' side of things, and we start off with Drew Weir. Salem, man, are the Quakers boys having a really good week.
We got some breaking news in the comment section from DJ Oakley.
Let me get it.
And it's boardman Sean O'Horo committing to Kentucky to play football. Congrats to number 6. Look at this. Big things happen when you get wrestling big dog. I'm telling you.
Kentucky. Woo.
he goes. That's incredible. That's
Blue Nation right there.
Nice little program for Boardman, for Boardman Sean O'Horo too. I got to see that kid play too on the network, and he's a tear, man. He's a bulldog of a runner.
Whole world do the dance, say what up, UK, right? Sean O'Horo about to be doing the John Wall all the way to Kentucky. Wow, okay, so back to Drew Weir. After that amazing breaking news. Thank you, DJ, so much for that call. Drew Weir, Salem. What a day, what a week Salem had. You beat Marlington, you beat West Branch. You beat West Branch in decisive fashion at home, and both games featured amazing alley-oops, dunks that really got the crowd just absolutely ecstatic. And Drew Weir absolutely earned his way on this list for Salem.
Yeah, I mean, Salem had a great week too. He was a huge part of it, so easy to put him up for Big Dog of the Valley.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And we go on from that. Anthony Lucente, when you get 1,000 points, you get on the list. That's one of the rules.
When you do it as a junior, too, you really need to get on the list.
Just forget it. You're definitely on the list. He gets on the list for the second time this year. And Lowville is one of the more dangerous teams in the Ysn family. They're also in the power rankings this week as well. So don't sleep on the Rockets. We go from him to, hey, another rule. When you hit half-court shot buzzer beaters, you get on the list. It's Alan Underwood from Austintown Fitch getting on for Big Dogs of the Valley.
And an incredible shot too, and I mean, I was left kind of speechless after it too. I mean, you take off the headset and you just look and you're like, he really hit that. He really, ended the game in 4.4 seconds after a big back and forth affair with Campfield. Incredible.
You pull a Rance Wilder from Angels in the Outfield. This is not basketball. This is not basketball. This is ridiculous.
Just nails it from half court. No, that was incredible too. And that's a moment too. Senior member.
We were in the middle of the Fitch student section too, because as soon as they hit it, everyone stood up right.
It's gone. Yeah. You get to see it get nailed, and then it just disappears. And
pandemonium.
Yeah,
I was like, "Is Ty okay?" Trampled.
No, he definitely set it into a frenzy. Very awesome moment for Underwood.
We go from him down to Wellsville, who's having a very impressive season. Doesn't probably get talked about nearly as much as they should. So I'm glad to see them get a nominee on the list. It is Eddie Stock from the Tigers. he had 21 points in the Tigers' win over United to avenge an early season loss to the Eagles.
He's a scorer. He's a shooter. Lock, stock, and barrel, I guess.
Ooh.
Right?
I was thinking like it's all in the stock, but I like yours a lot better. A lot better. Stock and trade or stock market, but I like yours.
Lock, stock, and barrel, man. He's a shooter.
But I think is that STALK or is that like
I'm not sure,
stock?
actually. I'm not
Like
sure how.
stock, If someone knows and wants to leave us a grammar lesson on the comments section,
I
we
think,
would love to hear from you.
I think it might be OCK, honestly, because I don't know. I could be wrong because ALK is the weird one. Is when you're
but ALK is also like a stock of grain. Grain stock is stock.
Yeah, true.
So I was like, lock stock. I was like, is that like a stock or a stock?
We're talking stocks now. Running point.
Sell. We go from that to Mickey Jones of Windham getting on the list. He had a big game on Friday night for the Bombers.
He's an incredible athlete, and he's a pretty good basketball player. I've gotten a chance to see him a few times, and when he gets it going, man, he can really get it going, and he's got some unique moves, and he's got a burst of speed that he can beat guys with from top of the key to the bucket, and not surprised to see him with another big game.
Not spelled the same way as the mouse, so you can't do the song.
No,
Disney
unfortunately.
would also hit us with a very hard copyright suit if I did the song. So luckily for me, I can't do that pun. I would be very tempted if he spelled it the same way. We go from that, and last but not least, Nick Ryan from Warren JFK.
I mean, with JFK having a great not second, well, I guess second half of the season really just push. I mean, they're just really lighting it up right now, getting some big wins over some great teams, and you got to throw someone on there, and Nick Ryan definitely one of the ones I would say deserves to be on the list.
Nothing better than watching Nick at night.
Yeah, there you go. Nick at night.
So I can do some puns too. We go from that. Now we'll go to the wrestling nominations, and we start things off with Gavin Pahanish, the South Range senior for the wrestling. I had to make sure I got that. It's one of those ones that you have to like. You stop yourself and you make sure you get it. We go from him to Dorian Jackson from Beaver Local. And then we have Hunter Andel from Garfield. Cameron Brozick from Louisville. And then we have Dom Zemko from Austintown Fitch. And AJ Coppersmith from Crestview. Those will all be the wrestling nominations. And we'll talk a little bit more about them when we have Gary Altizer on. He's very familiar with a lot of these guys, and I think he probably wrestles AJ Coppersmith quite a bit for Crestview, and he probably wrestles Dorian Jackson quite a bit from Beaver Local with that OVAC action over there that Wellsville is a part of. So can't wait to talk to him about all these wonderful wrestlers and what he knows about them. South Range has the second nominee from 2 weeks, and Louisville the same thing. 2 nominees in 2 weeks for them. Beaver Local and Fitch now have 2 nominees in 3 weeks, but back-to-back for South Range and Louisville.
Yep, and exciting to see more wrestling names on there, and we will, of course, like you already said, we're going to be talking a lot more with them about them with Gary Altizer.
And I also can't wait to break down the EOWL results tomorrow either. I mean, it was a big weekend, and Stephen Mara talked about it a little bit yesterday. I mean, it's an honor to be in it, and it's an honor when you get to win it.
Absolutely. So it's going to be a lot to talk about with Gary tomorrow.
So let's go into these vote totals. We'll start with wrestling. And right now the wrestling poll is at 16. Remember the social media graph, like the video isn't up yet. So these are the people that are for some reason sitting on their computer just waiting for this to pop up anxiously. 64 votes for the boys poll right now for boys basketball. And as far as the girls go, we have 22 votes. So you do the math real quick. 22 plus 64 plus 16. You have 102 right now, Ty. That's where we're at the point of our guessing. Uber aggressive. I'm gonna go with 1850.
Thought you were gonna say 18,000. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god, uber aggressive. I'd say, jeez.
1850 in about an hour and 20 minutes.
I gotta give you what?
200.
200? 2050? Give me it. Give me 2050. 2050. I'll take that.
All right. So we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll keep an eye on it. If both of us push, we'll guess on what it will be at the start of the show tomorrow, and we'll go.
That'll be a lot harder too.
Yeah, because then like by then the video is gonna be up, and
We're just gonna go nuts too. I mean,
go nuts. We're gonna take our first break of the day. When we come back, we'll have further tournament breakdowns. We'll dive into Division 3 and 4, the girls' brackets, and then we'll have also Scavos Cordos from Camel on one, and a lot more on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends: shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, shop with confidence knowing we're ready to go the extra mile for you. With the largest selection of used vehicles in the Valley, backed by the Greenwood Advantage Warranty. Every one of our vehicles has undergone our own 126-point inspection, so it passes the most important inspection, yours. No other dealership has the extra inventory, gives you extra for your trade, and goes the extra mile for you. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
For a great vehicle and a great experience, come to Boardman Mitsubishi today. As always, our full lineup of Mitsubishi models comes with a standard 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Boardman Mitsubishi, your hometown Mitsubishi dealer since 1999.
Focus Pizza, always supporting our community and our local athletes. Stop in on game day or score big and have it delivered right to your door. Check out our daily specials at cocaspizza.com. That's Cocos Pizza, we serve it hot.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig alongside Mr. Ty Bartell as we continue this Tuesday edition of Running Point. And Ty, before we go any further, Anthony forgot to play some post-game interviews that we have, and I apologize to you for the work that you do. We got the chance to speak. Well, you got the chance to speak with Coach Logan Ecker and and Kara English after the game on last night. I'm just struggling. But before we get to that, real quick, we do have a confirmation on their schedule. Middle Ridge, Sebring, Springfield, Jackson, Milton, McDonald are their last 5 games in that order. McDonald will be played on February 12th, and that'll be at
five conference games left.
Right. And 4 out of the 5 are on the road. So they have a tough stretch ahead where they'll be home just one more time. It will be their last home game of the regular season is the 5th against Sebring. No, the 7th against Springfield.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
we'll wait. We'll look forward to that, and then we'll also look forward to hearing what Coach Longenecker had to say after their win last night against Jackson Milton.
Welcome back, everyone, as I am here with today's player of the game, Kara English, as a part of a 70-48 victory over Jackson Milton. English with 29 on the night. Talk to me about the energy coming into this game, because, I mean, it was swirling around on social media. I feel like it was exciting for the team as well. You two haven't matched up this season. What was kind of the talks with Coach Longenecker like before this game?
I mean, we obviously prepared for it. We all knew it was gonna be a good game. I think most of us were just real excited for it. So,
talk about Abby Major coming out of the box, nailing some big threes down the stretch. What kind of momentum did that give the team, and what kind of energy did that jolt into you guys in the first?
it really gave us a lot of momentum. It pushed us forward, and we're all like, okay. She always really gets our momentum moving.
Talking about your play tonight, I mean, absolute bully ball down low. And talking about that, is that something you try to bring to the game in your style of play? I mean, you bring a physicality that not many girls, it seems like, can handle. And Jackson Milton had trouble handling it tonight, 29 points. Just talk to me a little bit about your performance and where you were finding success in the paint today.
Yeah, we were finding a lot of success driving. So we just kept on driving, and it worked every time. So,
looking at the box score too, I mean, multiple girls with 10-plus points. You, Major, Rose as well. You and Rose have a great chemistry, though, it seems like, on that court. Talk to me about just, is it even something that you guys have to think about when passing to each other? Because it just seems like there's no look passes. They're just, you guys are so timed up well on the court.
yeah, I mean, I don't really think about it. I don't know about her, but she just cuts. I see her, and I always know I can pass it to her. So,
this is a big win as far as trying to wrap up conference-wise, trying to win the conference this year. I know Coach Longenecker has told me that's been one of your active goals and one of the team's active goals. Just talk to me a little bit about what this does as far as momentum and trying to win the conference and how this is going to help you guys finish strong.
yeah, it was a big game, so it helped us out a lot. But we're not really worried about what's in the future. All we're worried about is the next game. So.
Final question for you, Kara. I mean, like we said, this was advertised on social media. There was a good following. Student section was full. You had a great crowd on hand. Team aside, what does it mean for you personally when you see those big crowds out here? They're getting loud. They're cheering you on, starting the chants. What does that mean for you as a player personally?
I mean, it's really thankful. Everybody comes out and watches. It really gets us going. So.
They brought the energy tonight and helped propel the Lady Vikings to a 70-48 conference win over Jackson Milton. Kara English, 29 points, is your player of the game. Kara, thank you so much. Welcome back, everyone, as I am here with winning coach, Coach Longenecker of the Waterloo Lady Vikings, 70-48 winners over Jackson Milton. And, Coach, seems like the talk every time you guys go into one of these conference games is, can you answer this question? It came along with Western Reserve. You guys answered the bell. It came along with McDonald. You guys answered it. Springfield, you answered it. Jacksonville was the last test for you, and you guys answered it. Talk to me a little bit about the talks you had with the team going into this one and the importance of this conference victory in the grand scheme of things.
Well, I know that as you and I have talked a little bit, we've consistently been talking about next team up, and tonight it was the next team up was Milton, but the kids know, and that Milton's one of the teams chasing us a bit, and the student section tonight, so there was a great atmosphere here, and so the kids really enjoyed that, and we talked about to this point we've earned the right to play in front of nice crowds, and we had a nice crowd tonight, and the kids played well.
Talking about that, I mean, 3 players in double digits. First I want to mention is Abby Major kind of starting you guys out of the box early, knocking down some big threes. I mean, when you can get contributions like that from players that maybe teams aren't expecting, how big of a jolt of momentum was that for the team early on?
Well, I think, it one thing fed another. Abby comes out and hits a shot, gets a little confident. We get a little hop in our step defensively, and, the crowd is into it right away when that shot goes in, and then the next one and so forth. And, so I thought that obviously gave us a good spark, a good jump start to things, and happy for Abby.
Rose had another great game as 12, as well as a boatload of assists, playing a great point guard as well. But our player of the game was Kara English. And, I mean, when you put up 29, too, I mean, played takeover ball in that fourth quarter when you guys really needed to. Talk about that kind of third to fourth quarter adjustment as they were trying to close the gap, but you guys were able to hold the lead in the fourth.
Yeah. We keep talking about manage the highs, manage the lows. And that's kind of what I love about this group. One of the things is, we stay pretty even. And, we knew Milton would make a run at us, good team. And, we were getting shots. It wasn't like we weren't getting shots there. We didn't hit some shots, and, the kids didn't panic. And we kept battling defensively there. Then the last minute or two, we kind of found ourselves and hit a couple shots, and, things started to go from there.
Talking about that, too. Both these squads kind of shorter rosters, too, than what we're used to seeing. But what does it mean to you as a coach to have 7 of the 8 girls have numbers in the box score as far as point totals? And they were all 7 girls out of the 8 able to score a bucket. What does that kind of mean to you as a coach that they're distributing, getting everyone involved?
I'm happy for the kids, and that's great to see. Was talking a little bit earlier, and, Kaylee Webb's been hitting a shot or two down the each ball game. Jewel Lilly has been doing a great job defensively and getting a put back here and there, and those things are huge for us. And then I think our exchange student Liv came off the bench there at the end and got a bucket, so that was big. But I'm happy for the kids. I'm just happy for the kids, the way they're working, and how things are going right now.
Us at the media are obviously looking ahead already to next Monday for Springfield and Waterloo, but we're going to put that conversation on hold because I know you guys are next game up. You do have Mineral Ridge in between this, too.
Yeah.
You faced them earlier in the season. You got the win here. What's it going to take to carry this momentum into Ram Country now to get a victory, providing that the snow doesn't keep you guys away?
Well, I was just going to say, providing we can divert 19 feet of snow that they seem to be calling for. I don't know if that game's going to happen Thursday, but what I've noticed about Mineral Ridge the last few weeks is that they've been scoring some more points than they were earlier. I talk about the kids. You see it all the time. League teams just aren't scared of each other. You play each other all the time. So I don't care if the teams down towards the bottom playing the top. You see each other twice every year. You're not scared of each other, and anything can happen in league conference basketball. So Mineral Ridge, I fully expect them to come out and scrap, and we'll have to do what we do to get a win over there.
We look forward to covering you as this season wraps up. Tournament time just around the corner as Coach Longenecker and the number 7 ranked Waterloo Lady Vikings come away victorious 70-48 over Jackson Milton and go to 14 in a row as far as victories are concerned, 14-1 on the season. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thanks.
14 victories in a row for Waterloo. Talk about coming in to the tournament red hot. They get the win last night over Jackson Milton, 70-48. big win for them and another stepping stone to getting that outright MVAC title. They are pretty much 2 wins away from doing that. If they win against Middle Ridge and then win against Springfield on Monday, they will have themselves the outright MVAC championship.
And I mean, it'll be the last game on home court too. So if you could put up that game, you could clinch it at home. You could clinch the conference at home, and that'd be something really cool for that group of girls to be able to accomplish. But hey, can't overlook any opponent. They got the Rams first up on the docket.
The stars are aligning, but Springfield will definitely have something to say about that. They won very handily against the team that pushed them to overtime the first time. So maybe that's a sign of improvement and a sign of growth from the Tigers, getting the 18-point win last night over a team that they beat by 1 in overtime the first time around.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting game next time these two meet, and it'll definitely be interesting to see how both teams adjust because they look like they both have improved since the first time they met.
Yeah, and it was a pretty close game the first time they met, too. I think one of the closer league games of Waterloo's season.
I think you're right as well, too.
About at halftime last night, Waterloo was already up 43-21. They had 43 points at halftime, on pace for 86.
Yeah, it was a third quarter that they stumbled a little bit on offense. They picked it right back up in the fourth, but yeah, they were right out of the box, man. They were not giving the Lady Blue Jays a whole lot of hope, man. They were really taking it to them. Jackson Milton made that one late run, but like I said, damage control. They managed it, never surrendered or gave up the lead, and then just built on it, right back on it, and took a big victory.
All right, Ty, you ready to dive into Division III district brackets?
Yeah, we can.
All right, let's go into Division III. We'll start with the Lakeview district. And but first, we already did the seeds yesterday. We did all the seeds yesterday. So we'll go into the Lakeview bracket, and we'll start at the top. And it is the 17-seeded Crestwood Red Devils getting the bye in the top of the bracket. They will await the winner of Garrettsville Garfield versus Wycliffe. That is 3 versus 18, and that'll happen on February 16th at Garfield, 7 o'clock tip for that one. The next line in the bracket, you have Rootstown, the 8th seed, getting the bye. They will play the winner of Berkshire versus Mogador. That is 10 versus 14. And then on the next line of the bracket, this is kind of like you would, quote unquote, the second half of the bracket. Columbiana will get the bye. They are the 15 seed. And Champion will play St. Thomas Aquinas for the chance to get champion in the sectional final. And then the last line of the bracket, it will be Pymatuning Valley playing Crestview. That'll be 11 versus 13. And the winner will go on to play the 6-seeded Kirtland Hornets. That game will go on against Pie Valley, in Pie Valley being the higher seed. And then if the winner will absolutely have to travel to Kirtland as the 6th seed. So, Ty, I think we can just go back up to the top. The first game we have to break down, Garrettsville Garfield, the 3 seed against Wycliffe, the 18.
Yeah, let me get this all pulled up real quick. As going into this one, Garfield right now in the season is 12-6. Wycliffe on the other side, if my thing will decide to load, 6-11. Looking first at the offensive numbers for Garfield. They have scored 918 points in 18 games, and that is good for an average of 51 points per game that they're scoring offensively.
And they have 3 players that are averaging double figures, I believe.
I think you're correct on that one as well, as they've allowed 712 in 18 games. That's good for 39.6 in points allowed. So 51 minus 39.6, that gets our differential. Garfield is beating teams, or at least in games, by an average of 11.4 points per game. And
that's a big diff.
That's a big diff, and it's significant because if you're beating teams by an average of 11 too, or you're outscoring teams by an average of 11 per game than points you're allowing, that's telling me 2 things. That's telling me that, first off, over 50 points offense in girls basketball is good. Let's be frank about that. But holding them under 40 is another thing too. If you're holding them to 39, I mean, there's not many teams like Salem's out there that are holding teams under 30 consistently. This is a solid defense, Garfield, and I think that is what's going to give teams a lot of trouble too, is because Garfield's been able to contend with all styles of basketball, whether that be Brookfield, whether that be Champion, whether that be Liberty. Now, did they come away victorious in every single one of those games? No, but it's not like they got blown out of the water either. This is a Garfield team that has consistently shown that they can compete with various types of basketball and they can stay in various types of games. And credit to Coach Gilbert for that as well.
It's also a Garfield team, Ty, that has different ways they can score against you. I mean, they have Jenna Smith in the post. They get her in the high post as well sometimes. She can make a move from there. They have Sarah Seaman who can knock down threes. You know, they have a couple other players that are really good at getting offensive rebounds and getting the putbacks.
Jenna Smith
Sydney Seaman is pretty good at three-point shooting too.
Jenna Smith is going to be your takeover player, and that's the other thing that Garfield has, and I'm sure Coach Gilbert and any coach will tell you, when you have a player like Jenna Smith that's on the squad that could play takeover basketball, it makes things easier. I mean, she averages 19.1 points per, just under 12 rebounds per, 2 assists, 1 steal. I mean, it's great numbers all the way around. And when you get almost a guaranteed 19 and 12 from a player, I mean, I'll take that any day on the court. And you're right about Seaman as well. She chips in as the second highest scorer at a little bit over 11 points per game. She averages just under 3 rebounds, just over 3 assists. So very, very active in the box score.
Not only the best distributor on the team, but also one of the best shooters in Garfield's illustrious history. She has a couple of 3-point records.
Yeah, and I mean, does a great job with that as well, too. So Garfield's got that dangerous scorer that can pretty much do all with Jenna Smith, and you got the sharpshooter on the outside that can make things happen, too, and really put it up in the box score. And on top of that, they play a pretty solid brand of defense. So, but
they're going to be tough, and they're the top seed in this district because we'll talk about this a little bit later. Brookfield decided to go straight at Liberty as the 1 seed. So 1 and 2 are going to be in the same district. And this Lakeview district is going to have Garfield as the top seed in the bracket.
Yeah, and that's going to be definitely interesting. Real quickly, too, just looking at Wycliffe, points that they've scored, they're 6-11. So in 17 games, they've scored 699. That's a good for an average of 41.1 points per game that they're scoring. No, not bad. They allow those 721 and divide that by 17. That's 42. So teams are outscoring them by an average of about 1.3 per game.
I imagine then they have a lot of close games.
They have thinking about that. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Let me double check that schedule real quick. Their wins, actually, there's a few close games. But it also balances out that the wins that they're getting are about 15 to 20 plus. And then their losses are about that much too. They have a couple close wins. They have common opponents too. They've beaten Cardinal, Middlefield Cardinal 62-31 this season. Grand Valley, they've lost to. Crestwood, they've lost to. Those are just 2 teams that make appearances. We see a lot on YSN as well.
And Crestwood is the team that's awaiting in the bye for the winner of that game as well. So,
yeah, and they've lost to Crestwood 53-42 on the season and 35-31. So they've kept it close with Crestwood. They beat Cardinal the second time around 62-31, but the first time they played Middlefield Cardinal, it was a 28-26 loss. So it's a team that's kind of gotten better as the season has gotten along, and we expect them to play their best, but I still think just Garfield and that point differential of over 11 for their opponents, and the schedule that Garfield's played too has not been one to scoff at. So I think Garfield, obviously higher seeded, is going to have the advantage in this one. If Wycliffe is going to do anything, I mean, their defense is pretty close. If you look at what they average to what Garfield averages, that's what's going to be. Yeah, Hallen is making big waves. Absolutely. I agree with that as well, Mr. Jeff Collins.
Yeah, rocking it, Coach. Hope you like it. Yellow Jackets.
But I think going into this matchup, I think that's really where Wycliffe is very close, because points Garfield's about 8 points better offensively. Defensively, they're only about 2.5. So defense is what wins a lot of games in tournament time.
Especially in tournament time.
That's what Wycliffe's going to have to hang their hats on. But I just think Garfield has too many ways to beat you. And when things break down and they need someone to score a bucket, they have someone named Jenna Smith that can kind of pull you out of those offensive lulls that you could get into sometimes.
You look at Garfield's half of the bracket. You got Crestwood waiting on that bye, but you got Rootstown down there as an 8th seed. You could argue that Rootstown could have been. I'm not going to answer that. We made a rule that we're not answering phones anymore. You could argue that Rootstown could be a very underseeded 8 seed. They could have gotten the 5 or the 4 very easily with their record. I think they have 11 wins in the year. So that could be a dangerous district semi if the numbers play chalk and it's Rootstown, Garrettsville, Garfield.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, when you look at all these matchups that can potentially happen, there's a lot of things that can occur. So,
and then, of course, the bottom of the bracket is Champion as the 4 seed. They're the second highest seed. If numbers play out chalk-wise, it would be a rematch of last year's district championship. Garfield, the champion, that is the one that Garfield won last year.
Yeah, and you would think they want to do that again. So, should be
split this year. So if that's a district championship, that would be a heck of a game. Champion won by 4, and then Garfield won by 3 in overtime.
It was definitely 1-1. You got to have that third game to decide it. What better stage to put it on?
You want a series in basketball, you'll get it. Best 2 out of 3 for all the marbles. The next matchup I want to talk about, though, is that champion team. They have a 19-seeded St. Thomas Aquinas, who we've seen a lot on YSN this year.
Yeah, let me pull all them up as well. I've seen St. Thomas as, I believe they came to Waterloo earlier on in the season. And one thing
sounds right.
One thing that I remember in particular about them is they had a decent amount of height. And if there's one thing that they can utilize in this one is if you have that height, try to use it to get more of those rebounds offensively, defensively. If you win that rebounding battle, that's where you have a good chance, I think, at coming away victorious. I don't know why this is not. Okay, there we go.
Ty's getting some glitch gremlins.
I know, I am. There we go. So, looking at this champion first and foremost, they're 11-4 on the season. In those 15 games, champion has scored 775 points, and that's good for an average of 51.7 points per game, which is, again, up near Garfield's level, around 51. In 15 games, they've allowed 529 points per game. That's good for 35.3. So in 35.3, and what did I say? 77.5 divided by 15 minus 31.3. You're getting an average of about, 35. Hold on, wait a minute. Now I got myself all messed up.
Oh, geez, Ty.
I understand. He says 51.6. And then what did I say? 529. There we go. Now I got that right. 35.3. So 51.6 minus 35.3. Their difference is 16.3 points per game. And their defense is actually a little bit better than Garfield's too, allowing a few points less. So champion by an average per game in 15 games is outscoring opponents by over 16 points.
And here's an interesting score from this bracket from last night, by the way. Crestwood beat Rootstown last night, 53-41.
Wow.
That's a 17 seed beating the 8th seed.
That's what's telling about this is that anything can happen in these lower divisions as well. Anything can happen truly this year. There's not too many, I think, surefire state winners, I think, so far.
No,
and there's not too many surefire regional finalists, I think, right now.
Well, we've seen this year that even the better teams in the YSN family have proven this year, that they're not unbeatable, that they've had chinks in their armors. They've had teams kind of expose a couple of weaknesses here and there. So there really isn't that quote unquote dominant team that's beating everybody by 30. And it's like, hey, here we come into the tournament. Good luck to the rest.
Yeah. And I mean, that's an interesting point too, because it's really anybody can beat anybody. There's no number one seed with the exception of maybe Hoban that we've looked at.
Yeah. I mean, outside of YSN.
Yeah. That look phenomenal.
Hoban's ridiculous. I mean, we all know that.
But even then, like we said, nobody seems unbeatable this year is what the interesting thing is. It's any bad night. If you had one bad night, that's all it takes. Hoban had a subpar half against Hallen, and Hallen kept it within 10. So we've seen, too, teams that have had exposure this year against Hoban. And like we said, all you need is one bad night.
Coach Smart. I mean, do you see what I'm wearing?
Kirby Smart now.
Do you think I'm going to answer a phone call from you if you see what I'm wearing? I mean,
Kirby Smart. Anthony is not a fan. Looking over at St. Thomas Aquinas, they've played 12 games so far. They're 5-7. In those 12 games, they've scored 495 points, good for 41.3 points per game. They've allowed 529, good for 44.1 points per game. So 44.1 or 41.3 minus 44.1. And that is good for teams that are beating them by an average of just under 3 points per game, 2.8, or not beating them, but outscoring them per game by an average of just under 3 points, minus 2.8 points per. Looking at their schedule too, St. Thomas Aquinas never really backs down from a lot of competition. They've played some teams we've seen. Youngstown East, they beat them in a close one early. 44-42. They lost to Waterloo 66-38. Close one with Southeast, who just kept it close with Mooney, 41-38 on the season. Rootstown, they played 51-36. They lost to them. JFK, they beat 45-40. Southeast, second time around, kept it close 51-43. Here's another one, too. Second time around with Rootstown just this past Wednesday, 35-27. Rootstown beat them. So kept it.
Rootstown must have something going on because, I mean,
you would
take that score and then you take the Crestwood score from last night. Maybe they're down some numbers. Maybe they are dealing with some injuries. But you don't usually see that kind of tailspin from a good team.
But it is impressive for a 10-3 Southeast that both games St. Thomas was able to keep it close. And maybe it's just a matchup thing, but definitely not a pushover team in the St. Thomas matchup for a champion. I think this is going to be a good matchup for them.
And you know what that means? It means you can't sleep on the 19 seed.
No, that's dangerous. That's dangerous. I wanted to see if they have their roster heights real quick, because there's some girls I think that have some decent height there. Yeah, they have a number of girls. Yeah, Amina Smith is 6'2". They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 girls that are 5'8" or taller. 6 girls. 6 girls that are 5'8" or taller. 2 girls that are 5'10", and then the one girl Smith that's 6'2". So I mean, they have some height around, and that's what's dangerous about them is you can't get into. You got to make sure you secure rebounds, fight for your position if you're champion, because you can't let them take a huge win in that rebounding battle.
Yeah, I don't care who you are. That kind of height advantage can cause problems if you let it. So we'll move on to the next matchup here in the bracket, and it is going to be Crestview traveling to Pymatuning Valley. The closest matchup as far as seeds wise. This is 11-seeded Pymatuning Valley versus 13-seeded Crestview.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that this can literally go either way is what's insane. Looking at Pymatuning Valley,
I've seen them play. They played at Brookfield right before Christmas, so I got to see them play, and they have some solid pieces. They're there, but I think they're hurt by quite blankly, they're hurt by their schedule. They're not really playing a lot of really great teams.
So here's you want to know, like, Crestview's almost like perfectly even around. They're just one win over 500. They're 9-8. They're 5-5 in the conference. So in 9-8, they've played 17 games on the season. In those 17 games, they've scored 691 points. They've allowed 691 points.
Oh my! They've tied themselves.
Yeah. So in 691 divided by 17, they allow 40.6. They score 40.6.
No.
Directly straight across the line, the diff is 0.
It's a 0 diff right there.
So teams are scoring they're keeping pace is one way you can look at it. Teams are keeping pace with them, but they're keeping pace with teams very even, is what we said this matchup is. Very even is what Crestview is. Looking at the other side too, real quickly, before we go a little more in depth. Pymatuning Valley is 12-5, so they've also played 17 games. Difference here, they've scored 871, and like you said, Anthony, not as good of a schedule as Crestview. They're averaging 51.2, so about a full 10 points better offensively. They've allowed 659. That's 38.8. So 50.2 minus 38.8. They're beating teams, or they're outscoring teams by an average of 11.4. But yeah, it is important to look at the schedule of both of these teams. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into this and just see some of the competition Crestview has played. They had an early loss to Beaver Local, a loss to Springfield, Girard, Liberty, Brookfield, Liberty again, Champion. All great teams, all top 4 seeds in this division that we've talked about so far. Garfield is on there. But, I mean, you look at wins. They just got that big win over United. They've beaten LeBray, beaten East Liverpool, beaten Latonia, beaten Lowville, beaten Camel, beaten Newton Falls. And you know what? Getting that back-to-back wins, I think, versus Newton Falls and versus United, and then again against Camel, I think is really 3 big wins for this Crestview team that is really making them look hot at the end of the season. And here's another one here's a stat for you too on this team of a player that has just been downright incredible for this Crestview team. It's been their freshman too, Gaskins.
Lorraine Gaskins, yeah.
And look at Lorraine Gaskins' numbers. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure as this freshman's averaging 13 rebounds a game. That is a scary
15 boards a game. That's pretty impressive for a freshman.
That's a scary good number for Lorraine Gaskins. Let me double check her entire stat line real quick. Gaskins averaging 12.8 points per, 13 rebounds, 2.6 steals, 4 blocks a game.
I just come into my freshman season averaging a double-double, that's all.
Averaging, 13 and 13, and then 2.5 steals, and then 4 blocks a game as well. I just come in 17 games and light the world on fire.
You know, a lot of that has been of late, too. I mean, she is a reason why Crestview has won, I believe, 5 of their last 6, somewhere around there. I mean, they have really caught fire, and her figuring things out is one of the big reasons why.
We get to see her for 3 more years after this, hopefully. She stays with that program. That's big, big numbers for Lorraine Gaskins for sure.
Let it Lorraine, man. Let it Lorraine.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Looking at Pie Valley, I want to see what one of their big stat leaders are real quick. Because I believe, if I'm correct, they're more of a balanced team. They do. They have 3 girls that average. Only one girl averages 10.1 points, and it's Clute. They have another one that averages 8.9 and another one that averages 9.6. So very balanced, and they're scoring kind of similar to Crestview, but as of late, it's been Lorraine Gaskins that seems to be taking over. Their rebounding leader is Simbor. Callie Simbor, and she's averaging 8.9 points per, 8.3 rebounds per. So probably going to be the big rebounding battle there. She's a senior. They actually have, looks like, 3 senior starters in this game too, and then a few sophomores, few freshmen. So going to be an interesting matchup though. And
that's probably the most interesting first round matchup in the bracket as we look at it. And now I just want to kind of go through the dates and the times of the sectionals and the district championships. So the sectional championships will be on the 19th at 1 o'clock, all of them. They will be at the higher seeds gym. So, for example, Crestview Pie Valley winner, they'll play at Kirtland no matter what. Columbiana will either host St. Thomas Aquinas or travel the champion. We have Rootstown. They will host the winner of Berkshire Mogador. And then Garfield, if they win, will host Crestwood, all on the 19th. The district semifinals and championships will be played at Lakeview. And the semifinals will be February 23rd at 6 and 7:30. And then the championship game will be on the 26th at 7.
A lot of upcoming big game basketball that's going to be happening, and we're so excited for it.
Exciting indeed. We have pushed Scavo Skoros to 1:30. He got out of class a little late, so he will still be coming on. He sent us a message and said it will be closer to 1:30, so still looking forward to him. Before we get into the next bracket, we are going to take our next break of the day, and we will be back with Running Point on ysnlive.com. Once again, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Working with your family can be stressful at times, but because they're family, you know that you're going to get a loving, honest answer, even when things don't make sense to any problem. Dealing with Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. That's why here at Myers Family Insurance, we do our best to give you honest and caring answers to all of your questions. Family, like Medicare, isn't always perfect, but when you put others first, the results can be amazing.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air,
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
online,
All right, let's talk high-risk Futurecast and the timing of this weather.
on social media, and on our app.
Notice we'll have scattered showers on Thursday.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Jimmy Sutton here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and two of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Dealing with Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. That's why here at Myers Family Insurance, we do our best to give you honest and caring answers to all of your questions. Family, like Medicare, isn't always perfect, but when you put others first, the results can be amazing.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartell as we continue this Tuesday edition, and we continue our look at the Division III district brackets. We broke down Lakeview. We know what dates the district championships and semifinals will be. We know what each team is playing. So now, Ty, let's hop into the other district bracket in Division III in Northeast Ohio, I should say, because there's a lot of districts, but we're looking at the ones our teams are involved in, of course. And we go to the Struthers district, where it'll be Liberty as the top seed. And Brookfield also went into this district as the 2. So very interesting move by Brookfield to not go away from Liberty and go right at them. They will have the 1 seed. They will play in the first round against East Palestine, the 24 seed. And the winner of that will go on to play Mineral Ridge, who has the bye, as the 22 seed. Waterloo is the 5 seed. They are in this bracket as a bye. They will play the winner of the 20th seeded Grand Valley versus the 7th seeded South Range Raiders, and the winner of that will go to Waterloo on the 19th. We have Youngstown Ursuline. They have the bye as the 15 seed. They will play the winner of United and LeBray. That is going to be a 9-12 matchup on the 16th at 7. Last but not least, we have Brookfield, the 2 seed. They will play at Camel, the 21 seed. And you go with that, the winner will play Conneaut, the 23 seed. So really quick, Ty, before we dive into it, what are some of your thoughts about what we see in that bracket?
I mean, what I'm seeing too is, honestly, if you just look straight up matchup-wise, Liberty has a pretty good path to get 2 straight wins and kind of already booked themselves into that part of the bracket.
They absolutely do. I mean, everything's in front of them. They're playing 2 22 seed and a 24 seed in their sectional semi and sectional final. And then even you look at the bracket, you look at who they might have to face in that district semifinal if they make it that far. You're looking at Waterloo, the 5 seed, South Range, the 7. That would probably be the matchup that you would see on the other sectional final. So it could be a Liberty South Range, could be a Liberty Waterloo. Either way, that district semifinal starts to get interesting.
It does start to get interesting as I don't want to spend too much time on this because I mean Liberty 15-1 versus East Palestine, winless East Palestine, and I mean looking at it too, just to give Liberty their due diligence and just to talk about what they've done for a
quick look. The Casual Sports logo just popped up on our screen. They're trying to infiltrate our show.
There they go again.
Alec better stay in his lane.
Or it's Alec Caberna.
Alec better stay in his lane, man. You got another hour before your show starts. Hold on.
But in 18 games, Liberty has scored 1,155 points. That's good for 64.2 points per game. In that stretch too, they've allowed 737 points and that is good for 40.9 points per. So 64.1 points per minus 40.9. They're beating teams by an average of 20. They're outscoring teams by an average of 23.
And they almost doubled that last night with a 40-point win over.
Who'd they just play last name? LeBray,
yeah, 78-38. So I think everyone knows that East Palestine's got a tall mountain to climb, but
I mean, for the Lady Bulldogs, the one thing that is comparable is defensively. They're pretty similar as far as that's concerned. 755 divided by that 16, allowing about 47 points per. So pretty similar to Liberty. It's just kind of been a struggle on offense. They're just trying to figure things out again, scoring a little bit less than 30 points per. I mean, we've seen miracles happen in sports, but I feel like
I think I'm going to make a bold statement and say that 30 points that they average is not going to be enough to beat Liberty.
Yeah, it's not going to be enough to beat.
They're going to need at least 50.
But that's what you see when everyone makes a tournament. Everyone gets a chance to, so you get to at least throw your hat in the ring. Tall mountain for them to climb, and it should be interesting to see how far Liberty can ride with that amazing point differential.
You'll look at the bottom bracket before we get too deep into the matchups, but you look at it and you see Ursuline's right there. They have the bye as the 16 seed. They await the winner of United and LeBray. I mean, that'll be interesting. I think United has a better matchup against LeBray. I think LeBray's kind of spinning out of control a little bit. I think United will be good in that matchup, but United and Ursuline, that's going to be fun, and that's the one that we're going to see before this bracket even happens. I mean, they're still scheduled to play each other.
Yeah,
at the end of the season.
Yeah, and I mean, we can look a little bit into that one.
Obviously, the strength of schedule, if that matchup happens, would be a lot different. I mean, I know United has done a really good job going out and playing teams. Playing the Poland, playing Salem. They'll play Ursuline before the end of the season. But then you'll look at Ursuline, and they're playing consistently that caliber of team almost every night.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about that, 42 points. Hold on 1 second. Let me just add this up. Okay. So what's interesting about LeBray, 10-9 on the season. In 19 games, they've scored 825 points. We
have a message from DJ.
One and done scenarios. And I mean, like I've said too, I mean, anything could happen. And that's been proven this entire season too for these games and for all basketball, boys and girls. Anybody can beat anybody.
I don't think anyone was giving Struthers much of a chance to beat Poland.
No, absolutely not. Nobody was giving Cardinal Mooney much of a chance against Salem either.
That's true too.
So, and I mean, DJ's right. There's plenty of games. Valley Christian was only a 6-point loss. Wellsville was a 12-point loss. I mean, they've definitely held some teams. Southern was only a 4-point loss. Beaver Local was a 6-point loss. So, I mean, they've yeah. I mean, that's definitely true. Looking at LeBray, though, they average just under. They're pretty similar to Crestview situation at 825 for, 812 against. That's 0.7 points per better.
Yeah,
so almost
not much of a diff.
Not much of a diff in that 10-9. And I mean, that's also probably why you see the record so close to even. We saw the same thing with Crestview. The scores at for and against were very tight. Record again is pretty much even too. LeBray's wins include teams such as Kent McKinley, Middlefield Cardinal, or not Kent McKinley, now it's McKinley.
I was about to say, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, Middlefield Cardinal, Bristol, that's a big one too to have. Let's see, other big wins. They got a win over Badger. Losses include those 3 of the big 4 in that gray conference, Liberty, Champion, Garfield. And then Brookfield as well, double times to Brookfield, twice to Liberty. I mean, the big losses are coming to those top 4 seeds in there.
Right.
They have some decent wins to them, and it should be interesting. But you're right. Looking at United now in 18 games,
you know that this straight up conference schedule is better for LeBray than United. That'll be one of the advantages they have. And LeBray does have one girl that can take over a game, and Laura McCoy. I mean, she can just straight up score.
She averages 19 a game.
Averaging 19 a game, like you said. I mean,
4.5 assists too, and over 5 rebounds, over 2 steals, just under 3 steals actually.
Broke the program record this year for points in a game with 39. So definitely proven that she can go off. So United has to keep her in check. That's for sure.
Absolutely. I fully agree with that.
They have played good scorers this year too. I mean, United has played teams with people that know how to score. So it's not like they haven't gone up against a team with a girl that can take over a game like that. So their defense will be prepared for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And looking at this too, United scoring 9-14 in 18 games, dividing that out, that's over 50 points a game. Just under 51 too. Impressively, they've only allowed 592, and divide that out by 18. That's allowing just under 33 at 32.9. So, at looking at that, that's impressive numbers too, because the differential then overall, and I said what 50.8. And then 32.9. So, yeah, 50.8 minus 32.9. That's a differential of 17 and almost 18 points a game that they're outscoring teams by. And you're right, Anthony. Out of all those EOAC teams, schedule looks really good, too. I mean, you have wins against St. Thomas Aquinas, wins against or playing Salem, rather. They played Springfield. Played Poland.
They're gonna play Ursuline.
Crestview, yeah, gonna play Ursuline, and then on
Springfield.
Out of all the teams,
United has made a very good point of going out and playing teams out of conference.
They have, and they're 12-0 in their conference too. So, I mean, picking up that out of conference win too against St. Thomas Aquinas, which we already talked about too, is another good win under their belt. And their non-conference schedules featured some really good teams as well, and I think that's going to help them. This is going to be a fun matchup, though, I think, between LeBray and United, and they're definitely going to have to key in on McCoy, I think, for this one.
It's definitely the closest matchups as far as the seeding goes for inside this bracket. Just one more. Brookfield will play Campbell, and that's going to be a conference matchup very familiar with each other.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be familiar with each other. Brookfield's looked really good down the stretch, and I mean, Sophie Hook's been one of those girls that have just been tearing things up for the Lady Warriors as of late, too. I mean, you look at her averages over 16 points per, over 10 rebounds per. She's the assist leader at 3.3. She's the steals leader at 3.7, leading in 4 major categories out of the 5.
Leads in this.
She's incredible, absolutely. And I mean, the thing with Brookfield too, it's that rebounding that they've been able to hang their hats on, and what I think it's what led them to that big victory over Liberty. It's what's kept them close in a lot of games. 12-3 on the season.
I struggle to kind of figure Brookfield out. You know, like they had the big win over Liberty, but then they go and they lose to Champion last night. They've lost to Garfield. They split with Garfield. They have a Champion matchup again on the slate. Brookfield's been kind of riding that roller coaster a little bit this year.
Absolutely. The thing with Brookfield, too, they're scoring just under 50 points a game. They're allowing somewhere in the neighborhood of just a little bit over 35. Their point differential, they're outscoring teams by an average of 14 per game. And another number I want to look at, too, overall that they're getting that's going to be dangerous in this one. Rebounding numbers, 41.9.
Question from DJ. Major upset. If you had to pick one major upset in the girls' basketball realm, what are you looking at? And I mean, we've talked a lot about this, and I want to go through all the brackets to see where the seeds are. But there are some teams that I think are underseeded. especially in this D3. I think if I had to pick one that would be a quote unquote major upset, I'm going to go to the last bracket we talked about, the Lakeview District. Let me pull it up real quick. So we go back to the Lakeview District and we see I'm going to head to the bottom line of this district, and I'm going to go to Kirtland having the bye as a 6th seed. I think Crestview can upset Pie Valley and then go to Kirtland and upset the Hornets. I'm going to take Crestview as the 13th seed getting to the district semis as my major upset in girls basketball.
They got some young talent that is definitely showing up as of late too. I'll look at these girls basketball brackets as well because I want to check real quickly. I think my pick came in Division 2. Let me double check though. See where, because let me see which one they were because they're all over the place in this one. I'd say, I mean, are we considering a major upset? Like, how many seed differentials are we thinking here?
Well, I mean, I had 13 beating a 6, so I think
Okay.
7 is enough for a major.
Okay, that's fair. Let me see which district this was in.
We go to, by the way, another one that I'm looking at in Division 2. You know, you go into the bottom side of it, and you see.
Honestly,
Perry is the 3, but I think a big contender in that bottom of the bracket against Perry, and this is a 3 seed, is Chagrin Falls as a 9 seed.
One team,
I know that's not like inside the YSN family, but I think Chagrin Falls is a very solid 9 seed, and Perry better watch out if they think they're just going to, book their bags and match up with Salem in the district championship again.
There's one team too out of conference. If I'm gonna say there's a out of conference team that I'm looking at that might upset. I know Struthers has been rolling, but number 19 NDCL versus number 12 Struthers is a scary matchup.
We know that Notre Dame Cathedral Latin's schedule is just a monster. So they're a 19 seed that's not really a 19 seed, and then we see a lot of those. I mean, Ursuline being a 16 seed, they've had a up and down year record wise, but their strength of schedule can make them dangerous in a D3 tournament. Same thing with Mooney in Division 2. I mean, their strength of schedule can make them dangerous in D2. They saw them beat Salem this weekend. So Mooney as a 16 seed can make some waves.
I agree with that one as well too. I mean, Mooney's been proven to do that. Louisville, I mean, yeah, they got that first matchup with Hudson, but after that, they're 15 seed. They go up against New Philadelphia if they can get past.
They've already beaten by the way this year.
And I think if there's one team that should have gotten ranked a little bit higher, I think Louisville should have been bumped a little bit higher, and so should have Howland. But there's a lot of teams out of the coverage area that don't see these two teams often.
That, and plus we've already established that Division 1 is a gauntlet, and like when you break down seeds like 12 through 28, you really can say anybody can beat anybody. We saw Massillon Washington come very close to beating Austintown Fitch, and that's Washington's like a 35 seed and Fitch is an 18. So Division 1 is a different animal, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Division 1 is a meat grinder through and through, and I mean, looking at all of it, getting there is going to be huge.
Right. As far as Scavos Koros goes, he's having a little bit of technical difficulties getting on with his phone. So we are trying to help him fix that. If we can't, we'll try to get him on at a later date. But as of now, we're trying to get him on as far as today.
Yeah, we're trying to get him on too. He's already got nominations for best name in the basketball realm right now this year too. So we'd love to get him on to talk about that Camel program a little bit too, as the Camel Memorial Red Devils looking really good this season. But no, looking overall, Anthony, there's a lot of great matchups here too, and it's the most exciting time, I think, when tournament starts. There's a lot of close matchups too. Jefferson, I wouldn't consider a major upset, but they played Girard. That's 18 versus 13. Jefferson's another team that you can't count out. They're 1-1 on the season with each other, Jefferson and Girard. They've already beaten each other a time apiece, so they can definitely do something. Youngstown East has won a few games this season. I know they got a huge tall task against Chagrin Falls, Kenston, but they've looked improved this year. Looking over at what other? There's one other. There's the district I wanted to find too. So Norway.
Let me see here.
What are you looking for, Ant?
I'm just I'm trying to help
Scavo
with his problem real quick. I'm gonna full screen you for a minute.
No problem. I'm also checking out too on these. We're gonna have to talk about. We're going to have to push that to either tomorrow or Thursday. We're going to have to look at Division 4 a little bit more in depth. But out of the Division 3, Wycliffe's going to be tough for Garfield. I really do think so. Just because of the height that they were able to bring. St. Thomas Aquinas, again, same case too. They're going to have a decent amount of height versus Champion. And height is always something tough to deal with when you're going up against any team, too. And St. Thomas has a pretty even record and ranked pretty low, too, at 19. So I don't want to keep saying all these out-of-conference teams, but these are just teams that I think conference-wise, or conference-wise, rather, YSN coverage-wise, teams that need to absolutely watch out, too, with these first-round matchups because they can definitely be put on upset alert for these games. That was from the Lakeview district, going over to the Struthers district. Grand Valley South Range. And I don't know if we actually were looking at that one too, because Grand Valley, not a bad team either. And actually, that might be a team too where you look at both Grand Valley and South Range, there might be upset alert written on that one too. Looking at it, it's 20 versus 7. Grand Valley going 7-10, but very similar as far as the scores. We'll look at the competition too, as far as everything else is concerned. But looking at this, 725.
Scavos is having this his fan base just obliterate.
They're calling for him. They're calling for him to come out.
We're gonna try to get him on at the same time on Thursday, and I'm just gonna have a different way of getting him the link so it doesn't mess up with something with the copying and pasting. It got him a little messed up. I don't know what it was, but I think the next time we'll just find a different way to send him the link, and we'll fix the problem in that way. But we will definitely get Scavos on before the end of the week. Ty, we got. Time's ticking. I know we're doing D3, but we have to make our picks too.
Yeah, and we can get into our picks. Only thing I really wanted to know, Grand Valley, their point differential, they allow 2.2 points more than their opponents per game. And then South Range, in those same 18 games, they score 34 points per.
I'd hate to say it, but I think the way South Range hasn't been blowing anybody out, their defense keeps them in games. Their offense has been that kind of lends itself to being on upset alert. And it's 20 versus 7. But,
very similar too, because South Range allows 1.7 points more than their opponents, so they're very close in that aspect.
When you can be a little lethargic on offense at times, it just lends itself to one bad night where you can't find the bucket, and then all of a sudden, you can lose 30-28 even with really good defense. So I really think South Range might be on upset alert there too. I'd hate to see it as a YSN school,
There's a
But
lot of
you gotta face reality.
when YSN schools are taking the top seeds, sometimes that's what happens too. You get put out on upset alert. And there's a lot of good teams too that they're going to have to contend with in that
All right.
round.
Picks time.
So you got to watch out.
Final countdown. We got 10 minutes. Let's do this quick. You can pick along with us all day. Head over to Twitter. The handle is at Running Point YSN. You can pick along with me and Ty on the thread there, and we'll start with Boardman at Fitch. Boardman has the fan vote 77% over Fitch. I'll just take him, and then Ty, you can go. I'll take Boardman.
I'll fly with the Falcons.
All right, so we're splitting on the first one of the day. Here we go. Lakeview versus Struthers. This will be in the Fieldhouse, and the Wildcats have 90% of the fan vote.
Give me the Wildcats.
I'll take the Wildcats as well. Garfield at Liberty. The Leopards have 78% of the fan vote. I'll take Liberty.
Yeah, I'll go Liberty as well.
Latonia versus Valley Christian. The Eagles have 75% of the vote.
Your pick or mine? Or my
I'll just take Valley Christian.
I'll take Valley Christian as well.
Middle Ridge versus Sebring. The Rams have 67% of the fan vote.
Give me Sebring.
Give me Middle Ridge. Jackson Milton versus Waterloo. The Vikings have 67% of the fan vote. Jackson Milton beat them the first time around.
Yeah. Give me Waterloo at home.
I'll take Jackson Milton. Crestview versus Newton Falls. 67% going to the Falls. I'll take Newton Falls to win this one at home.
Yeah, I'll take Newton Falls as well.
Heartland Christian versus Badger, round 2, I believe. Badger has 56% of the fan vote. I'll take Badger to sweep the season series.
Yeah, give me Badger.
Canton South versus West Branch. The Warriors, 87% of the fan vote.
West Branch, I think, bounces back.
I'll take the Warriors as well. United versus Columbiana. The Eagles have 75% of the fan vote.
Yeah, give me, or no, your first pick. I'm sorry.
I'll take Columbiana at home.
Yeah, I was gonna go Columbiana as well.
Orville at Louisville. The Leopards are dangerously close to the milestone win for Siegfried. They need what? 6 more? 5 more. 5 in the next.
I think so. Yeah, 5 more.
All right, so 5 more for that milestone win for Coach Siegfried down at Louisville. They're playing Orville tonight. They have 87% of the fan vote. I'll rock the banner. Give me Louisville.
Yeah, give me Louisville as well.
Brookfield going to LeBray. I'll take the Vikings as they have 75% of the fan vote on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll go Vikings as well.
Now we go into Wellsville versus East Palestine. The Tigers have 100% of the vote. Ty, I'm taking Wellsville.
Yeah, I'll take the Tigers as well.
We go into Lowville, going to McDonald. The Rockets, 80% of the fan vote. Ty, where are you leaning?
Lowville.
I'll take the Rockets as well. Ursuline Cheney split 50-50. Cheney won the first round matchup, I believe, over Ursuline, if I'm not mistaken. They've been splitting with teams all season.
Yeah, where's this game hat?
In Cheney.
I take the sweep. Give me the Cowboys.
Did they win the first time?
Yeah.
Okay. What the heck? I'll split with you. I'll go Ursuline.
Oh, he's going to the Irish.
Girls basketball, Jefferson traveling to Poland in the ancillary gym in the Poland High School. If you're going to this game, just a quick reminder that it won't be in the Poland Fieldhouse. Poland has 100% of the vote. Ty, which way are you leaning?
Lady Bulldogs.
Give me Poland as well. Maplewood, back to boys basketball, going to Windham. Windham has 57% of the fan vote. I'll take Windham as well.
Yeah, give me the Bombers.
Springfield versus Western Reserve. The Tigers have 92% of the fan vote. This will be on the road, and I'll take the Tigers to win.
Yeah, I think the Tigers are looking real good. I don't see them having any bumps yet.
Your pick, Poland travels to South Range on boys basketball at 63% Bulldogs.
Yeah, give me Poland.
It wasn't close the first time, but South Range is playing so much better. I'm not even calling the game. I'll rock with my alma mater.
The Raider heart.
Give me the Raiders. Niles versus Jefferson, 71% of the fan vote going to the Falcons.
Jefferson all day, every day.
I'll take Jefferson as well. East versus Mooney. The Cardinals have 87% of the fan vote.
Yeah, I think Mooney's really looked good as of late. I'll take Mooney.
champion going to Camel. The number one team in the power rankings has 90% of the vote. I'll go Camel.
Yeah, I think the Red Devils keep flexing.
Southern goes to Lisbon. The Indians have 57% of the fan vote. It's your first pick.
Give me Lisbon.
I'll take Southern. I'll split with you there. Gerard will go to Hubbard. The Indians have 71% of the vote.
Your first pick.
I'll take Gerard.
I'll take Gerard.
All right, so we split on 6. Let's go back up and see which ones we split on. We split right off the bat. I took Boardman. You took Fitch.
Yep.
We didn't split on that one. Didn't split on that one. Not that one. We split on Middle Ridge and Sebring. I took the Rams. You took the Trojans.
Yep.
We split on Jacksonville and Waterloo. I have the Blue Jays. You have the Vikings.
Yep.
We both picked Crestview. We both picked Badger. We both picked West Branch. We both picked Columbiana.
Yes.
Both picked Louisville. Both picked LeBray. Both picked Wellsville. Both picked Lowville. We split on Ursuline Cheney. I took the Irish. You took the Cowboys.
Yep.
Both picked Poland Girls. Both picked Windham. We both picked Springfield. We split on Poland South Range. I take the Raiders. You take the Bulldogs.
Yep.
We both picked Jefferson. We both picked Mooney. We both picked Camel. I took Southern. You took Lisbon.
And that was it.
And then we both picked Gerard.
That's it. Yep. 6 games we split on. You can get back into single digits if you have a good night. You're only down by, 13?
I'm fairly confident in all of those picks.
We'll see.
There's like 4 that I'm supremely confident in.
You were supremely confident about a lot of games that have not gone your way, though.
I know. They've gone my way in a very heartbreaking fashion, too.
So we'll see.
Almost like dropping 18 points in the second half. That kind of heartbreak.
Yeah. Anthony's still hurting about it.
Did you catch Coach Fish hitting me with a hooday at the end of his interview?
I did catch him. That was hilarious. That he
I
threw
almost
it
just
down.
cut him off right there.
Anthony just cut off the interview. You don't get to say your tagline.
Forget it. Oh,
man. We get it. The world looks better in burgundy and gold.
We'll get you in our 5th straight AFC Championship game at Arrowhead next year. Well, that's what I told them. We'll go to tomorrow. We'll preview tomorrow. We have Wrestling Wednesdays with Gary Altizer. We will have recaps. We'll have picks. We'll have the Division 4 district to break down as well. 2 brackets there left to break down. So it'll be a fun Wednesday. We'll also be doing some off-air interviews that we'll be able to air later in the week tomorrow. Scavos Cordos, saving him for Thursday. Unfortunately, technical difficulties. We just moved him to a different day now. We're going to find a better way to get him the link so he's able to come on. So for all his fanboys in the comments, we hear you. We want him on too. We're going to get him on Thursday for sure.
Yeah, they're calling him out too. You
like, let's
gotta
go.
make that appearance, Kev.
That means I want all of you guys watching on Thursday. I don't want you guys to be missing on Thursday when he comes on at 1:30.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be exciting as we're only about not even at the halfway point of the week, and we've already had some pandemonium in basketball world. And
we're gonna also try to get Michael Cole on Thursday at 12:30. The champion head coach. He is coming off of a big win over Brookfield last night, so we'll try to talk to him again.
If you guys happen to get snowed in, you know where your place to find your local sports entertainment from 12 to 2 it's going to be.
We're taking a 22-hour break, and the Casual Sports Podcast coming up next from 2 to 3, Power Hour from 3 to 4, and then basketball all night on the network. Don't miss a minute of it. As for me and Ty, we wish you a wonderful evening, and we will see everyone back here tomorrow. If I find my dang cursor, there it is. We'll see everyone back here tomorrow. We'll see everyone.